Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by number one news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondomiso Vilagati alongside Zamanze Manze. First, let us take a look at today's headlines. The Ligli has moved to the residence. The Minister of Home Affairs, Princess Lindiwe, has announced that starting from December 17 this year, the Ngwenya Oshik border gate will commence a permanent 24-hour operation. The news. The Ligli has moved to the Hoho region. The new development draws nearer the dancing of the main Ingwala.
It is highly expected that His Majesty King Eswatini III will now lead the Nkwala at Butleni Royal Residence in the whole region. This follows the completion of the third leg of the sacred ceremony, which was successfully held at Mbongweni Royal Residence in the Shiselweni region. And now His Majesty has moved to the whole region, and this is a significant development as it paves the way for the commissioning of the Ingaja regiment from the region. On the first day of the Litli Nkwala at Butleni, regiments were undeterred by the inclement weather conditions as they danced while observing COVID-19 protocols. On the news, I am Sandile Makanya reporting with Zwele Masugu at Butleni Royal Residence.
Being led by Her Majesty the Queen Mother. The regiments braved the cold weather conditions
Ingwala at Lutitini Royal Residence. The regiments are the Lutango, Medians and Laqobdelagom. Also present to dance with Her Majesty were the Makosigati to His Majesty and the royal family. Regiment The nation is now eagerly waiting for the main day of the ceremony, whereby their majesties will dance together with a Maswati. On the news, I am Polile Mazia with Tamba Mamba at Lutitini Royal Residence.
The Minister of Home Affairs, Princess Lindiwe, has announced that starting from December during a press conference held at the ministry's offices on Monday.
Following a series of bilateral engagements between the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini and that of the Republic of South Africa. The two governments have finally reached a breakthrough concerning the 24-hour operation for Ngwenya Oshuk border post. Therefore, with effect from 17 December 2021, Ngwenya This arrangement is in line with the economic aspirations of both countries, and it will bring immeasurable socio-economic benefits. This achievement was the visionary initiative of Court of His Excellency. May I extend my special appreciation for his efforts in bringing this important milestone to fruition. Officials from all relevant government departments and stakeholder organizations in both Eswatini and the Republic of South Africa
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says the effects of climate change by the country.
The Kingdom of Eswatini consumes about 140 metric tons of maize per year, whereas farmers The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, sympathized with farmers who had their produce destroyed by continuing rains. The minister says the effects of climate change calls for climate-smart agriculture and conservation agriculture approaches.
Kuyakhomba ukuthi ukuguquguquka kwesimo selitulu kukhona futhi ke sekudawuhlala kukhona iminyaka lesisuka lokungathi kucela nje ukuthi labo labakhonako bamane basalevele balima ngaleyo ndlela leyo kubalekela lesimo lesikhona. Kwesibili ke lesingakucela ngiloko ukuthi eMaswati nawo nje bathatha inhlanyelo basale bacondzisa inhlanyelo so limele kakhudlwanyana kanti kube bowuvele nje wahlanyela wasowunaka lapho la uhlanyele khona lo monye umhlabathi ungawuphatamisi naloko singakukhuthata ukuthi bakwende labanye sebayakwenda ukhuthata nje ukuthi eMaswati akhona ukukusebenzisa lokho. Mhlawumbe kwekugcina le ngingakukhuthata kungaba ukuthi eMaswati akubuke nokuthi singete salima umbila sonke indzawo sigcina sesathi thina basehlanzeni sivama banetinkinga leti kanje siyakhuthata ke ukuthi tilinywe naleli tinye tilimo lokhanza ukuthi atilinyatwa kakhulu tangcotho njengoba sekufike tangcotho nje kube bolima ebhatata ungakhanza ukuthi kude affecteka lokube khona.
To improve food production in the country, the Ministry of Agriculture introduced the Agricultural Input Subsidy Program for farmers. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Swekhoza with Fuminko Sinsinesa Babani.
The Reconstruction Fund has assisted 50 business people with funds to reconstruct their businesses that were burnt and looted during the civil unrest. According to the Deputy Chairperson of the fund, Mlegi Dlamini, business owners are encouraged to apply for the fund to get their businesses up and running.
The Reconstruction Fund that His Majesty King Mswati III launched will assist towards rebuilding businesses that were damaged during the unrest. The Deputy Chairperson of the fund, Mluleki Dlamini, says about 50 businesses have received the financial assistance from Eswatini Bank. Dlamini says the number of business people who have already applied for the fund are impressive. He says that business people should ensure that the information that they provide correspond with the information that was reported.
Leti nombolo atisafanani nanakula bakubhode emaphoyiseni uthole nje ukuthi nasagcwalisa leli form leti nombolo sengathi setuba ngedudlwana kunako ke lathe kwamlimalela nako ke sesiyabuka lapho lokuthi babozama nakhona ukuthi leti nombolo ngathi tiyahambisana nakunjani bathole nabo affidavit lokuchazelako vele lokuthi cha beyibuka bengakabukakali ukuthi inkulu kangaka lo monakalo kwasinase sekuthathwa vele sekwende ama quotations kwakhanzakala ukuthi nakho vele umonakalo omkhulu impela singavele sithi nje nalapho we appeal to the public, the business community lokuthi isibambise kona sikhonle lokuthi sisachubeka ngumsebenzi lona mkhulu.
Dlamini further encouraged Emaswati to apply as applications form are available in the government website. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni in Mbabane.
Malaria cases in Eswatini have shown a rise when compared to last year around this time. According to Kapsini Hlengetwa, over 50% of the cases are women. Hlengetwa was speaking when giving an update on malaria cases.
Cases of malaria in Eswatini are showing an increase when being compared to last year December. According to National Malaria Program's Communications Officer Kapsile Hlengetwa, the program is concerned about the rise in cases of malaria.
We are standing at 233 local cases for the season. So this means that we are drifting further away from our goal of reaching zero by 2023. And our cases are mainly in Stobela, which is topping with the cases followed by Mhlangatane, Lomahasha, Ntonjeni, Kwaluseni, and Mkiweni. It is worth noting that December, okay, we already have a high number of cases. ...65 structures, and by structures I mean houses in homes. So we have already sprayed 26,584, which is about 92% coverage. And the total population that we have protected is 26,000 that we had projected to protect this year. We are currently spraying big that we have sprayed quite a number of localities which we had intended to spray, most of them around the Lubombo and Wowo region.
Visiting different places in the country to spray structures in a bid to control malaria. For Eswatini TV, sourced from DW.
The Malolocha Nature Reserve has recorded a 5% increment in game count over the past year. This was said by the Director
says with the minimized poaching rate and other programs introduced by ENTC, the Maloloja Nature Reserve has recorded an increment in game count. Maloloja is the last remaining grassland conserved ecosystem in the country.
across the board. The digital account was 7%, 10% kepanasasi. Leto tinkinga letiba khona kepha nje kusita kakhulu lokho kuleli hlelo lethu lekusebenzisana nemimango lesithi community outreach ngobe ukhanza ukuthi sesiyakhona kubambisana kuyigcine lemvelo nathi siyi-nature reserve siyakhona ukuthi nangabe kunemathuba emisebenti nasidzinga tandla siyi-nature reserve sikhulumisane nale mimango basisite bete basibambise lo budlelwane buhle kakhulu kule minyaka ngiko lokusisita kakhulu ekwehliseni leli zinga.
ENTC also reports that the Maloloja Nature Reserve is worth 100 billion Malangini in ecosystem value. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Suekoza with Sontom Langini, Maloloja.
The nation is encouraged to ensure that they don't carry large amounts of money in busy areas like towns. According
Eswatini should ensure that their new credit and debit cards are safe as some do not require pins.
Mathabela ngoda athathe emathuba nekwekuthi mhlambe acele kuyosidepositela leto imali mhlambe lesifuna ukuthi deposita ngekhathi ngenxa yemalayini athi mina kunemzala lapha ngekhathi ngidakwendela masinyane ngavele ngiconze ungakuvumeli lokho ngoba ngekwenta nje sishito sive siyasinxusa kwekuthi vele kukahle lokungamphathi cash and siphathe emakhadi ethu lesiwasebenzisa kwemabhanki nyalo ke emakhadi ethu anema chip le chip ikuvumela ukuthi ngalesinye isikhathi ku limit letsite ungafika uyithephe nje lapha ku speed point na uyithepha without ukudzinga mhlawumbe ipin number yakho bese uyakhona kubhadala ngaleyo ndlela.
Chele further stated that cases of cybercrime Eswatini TV News Sondomlangeni in Babani.
The Regional Development Fund today met with constituency headmen of Shiselweni, Bukopo, development officers and technical committees for an exercise aimed at capacitating them about the Regional Development Fund. RDF manager Cornelius Lamini says they have noticed an information gap from Eswatini on how to apply and utilize the funds.
Tinkhundla leadership from various constituencies in the Shiselweni region came out in numbers to acquire knowledge of how they can access funding from the Regional Development Fund. The Regional Development Fund manager Cornelius Lamini says
He says they encourage more Eswatini to take advantage of the fund by coming up with sustainable business plans and then apply for funding.
We are meeting and also the technical committee just to make sure that we remind ourselves of the RDF regulations and simplify them wherever there could be some interpretation problems, and also to make sure that we gather whatever issues they have on the ground whilst they operationalize the RDF. The Ministry of Tingudla has gathered that there's around 10%. Some community members, they say they don't have 10%, which is a requirement towards the contribution to the fund, RDF, His Majesty's Fund. But again, not only in cash, also the skilled labor, the unskilled labor, it forms part of the 10%. Readily available material like sand, river sand, plaster, stones, water, they also form part of 10%. So we're simplifying that, and we're also encouraging them to ensure that whenever they meet such issues, they should invite, Bukopo should invite is met.
Matsanjeni South constituency Induna Nkundla Gandhi Masugu thanked the RDF for the exercise.
Liqiniso ukuthi phambilini besine information mhlambe lenengi lenye lengesiyo, but ke namhla siyabonga lokuthi sizokhunjuzwa ukuthi RDF kahle kahle akusiye nang 10% lo se asicaka kubantu, but namhla sesizule ukuthi RDF uya emandla akho angaba ngo 10%. Lokusho ukuthi sithi bantu ababuye bazocela imali ye RDF enkundleni babuye basebenze.
Fund is committed to simplifying the disbursement of funds to communities. For Eswatini TV News, Sifiso Ngumalo with Smuva Shongwe, Hlangano.
Dear viewers, we'll now
B.
Guina says their victory against Aces Academy during the Swaziland Building Society tournament was motivated by the fact that they knew majority of their opponents from Aces Academy as they grew up together playing the sport. Guina revealed after his team became champions of the doubles in the Swaziland Building Society tournament at Lobamba.
Past weekend, it was yet another edition of the Swaziland Building Society tennis tournament, where in the categories of doubles in the final saw Recreation facing Aces as Recreation were crowned champions in doubles. Recreation tennis star
if you could talk of Bruce, Zakile, with the guys we grew up with. We played juniors together, so meeting and playing, it's always fight. It's always a fight.
Guina's teammate Takona Kumalo says playing
a tough game, but I had a good partner, so we pulled through. He was coming from a very tough match, so I wasn't expecting much, but he came out well.
The Secretary General of Tennis Association
belibaphazamisa ku-training ababi ne-training le enough, but standard laba sikhombisile sikhombisa ukuthi lizingasolo liyanyuka ngoba ku-tournament le endlulile la bekune-Aces khona i-tournament the same ku-final namhla kuma-doubles at the same guys lebe bakuma-finals kuleya tournament liyakucala i-Aces lokusho ukuthi emathumi lamabili adominator le
winners of the tournament as they walked away with the amount of 5,000 emalangeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports, Mlinda Dlamini, Lubamba.
Director of Roses FC, which is a women team based in the Shiselweni region, Inos Vilane, says the recent bad performance of the team is caused by the fatigue of the players. Vilane
Turned on a high note, with teams showing commitments in their games. As a proof, so far in over 30 games played, around 130 goals have been scored. One team that is facing tough times, Roses Football Club from the Shiselweni region, with a recent poor performance. However, team director Inos Vilane is associating their poor performance to the long distance they always have to travel before their games, which he said
kuyasiphakamisa kakhulu nema-games lamaningi kubitha ukuthi sitowadlala la ngoba lama-team maningi la kalobamba so ama-games lamaningi siwadlala kalobamba and kuyasibulala-ke ngala ngako konke.
Princess Lindiwe has announced that starting from December 17 this year, the Ngwenya-Oshik border gate will commence a permanent 24-hour operation. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.